Hey, Zippo here from my channel, the Gaming Entertainment Information channel, I guess, and right now I'm going to do a comparison between WarZ and DayZ, because I haven't seen many really solid comparisons with just like features versus features kind of thing, so I'm going to do some positives and negative features, because I played both games, and I hope it helps. This might not be an extremely awesome comparison, but I'm going to do my best. Alright, so I'm going to start off with some WarZ and DayZ positives. Now everybody wants the positives, so I'm going to get them out of the way first. The negatives are the ones that are more hard to say, so I'm going to show the positives first. Now, starting with WarZ, I noticed in WarZ they have a nice solid gun collection, basically. There's a lot of guns in WarZ, from all kinds of assault rifles, sniper rifles, rocket launcher, pistols, riot shield. Even though, well, yeah, the riot shield is a melee weapon. There's a whole host of melee weapons, unlike DayZ, where they have crowbar and a hatchet, but the armor engine isn't really able to support it, so melee weapons are plus in WarZ, if you like melee weapons. And next is the great gear interface for WarZ, compared to DayZ, which is the clunky armor engine gear interface. But the WarZ one, you can quickly go in, drag anything around the screen, and I'll probably have footage since the NDA was lifted, I guess. And I guess showing would be a lot better, so I'll show that. The next positive is like the smooth and clean FPS controls. It controls like a nice actual first-person shooter, and you can look around, aim easily, and kill zombies a lot easier with a gun and melee weapon. You know you're going to hit the zombie. Like every time you swing, you know you're going to hit the zombie, unless you drastically miss. Unlike DayZ, where it's a big guess if you hit the zombie or not, with the clunky aiming of DayZ. You know, if you play DayZ, of course I'll have footage on both ends, so I'll show you all these positives and negatives for both games with game footage. The next positive for WarZ would be it has custom weapon attachments that you can pick up, like scopes and red dot sights for all your weapons. And of course, DayZ, the attachment's already on the guns, but that's not really a negative, it's not a game breaker. WarZ has body armor. You can pick up body armor to protect yourself more. Another positive, well, of course, as I said at the top, melee weapons. It has a ton of melee weapons. DayZ didn't have melee weapons until it was implemented. And it isn't implemented very well because it shoots a puff of smoke out of the axe, the hatchet in DayZ, and it looks like it's firing a gun, and you have to reload it, and it has ammo. Because the engine could not support, the armor engine could not support melee weapons because it was all guns, because it's a military simulator. And the next positive for WarZ is player missions. You can make player-made requests and have a bounty board. There's a bounty board for bandits that are everywhere, and there's heroes, neutrals, and bandits in WarZ. And you can post a bounty on a bandit, and people can go hunt them down. And the player missions are player-created requests that other people can do and go help, or, you know, anything you want. You can also leave notes around for people with a certain bot thing. And there's player skills that you'll have, and there's two modes, normal and hardcore. In normal, you will not lose your skills when you die. In hardcore, you will lose all your skills that you gain. And there are save zones in WarZ, although when I went to a safe zone, it wasn't really populated, or it just didn't look like a safe zone to me, but I'm guessing I'm going to show footage of the safe zone, obviously. Alright, next would be the DayZ positives, and I'm going to start off with one of the biggest positives I've ever seen, ever, and that would be vehicles. There is a ton of vehicles in DayZ that you can find, even a chopper, and you can fly around the entire 64 square kilometer map, and it's awesome. You're missing out if you're not trying that out. It's got realistic bullet properties in DayZ. Now there's bullet drop, and it's got correct damages for all the weapons. WarZ did not have. I looked at the damage stats, and it wasn't very good for weapon damages. In DayZ, you can hunt and cook for food and kill an animal, gut it with a hunting knife, and make a fire. Get some wood, matches, make a fire, cook the meat, and eat it. And you can get a canteen and fill that canteen up at lakes and all that kind of stuff. And another positive is camps. You can find a tent, set up camps, and you can get a 52-item storage in that tent. And it's very useful. And if somebody else finds that tent, they can take whatever they want out of it, because you're not there, unless you're there to defend the tent. And in DayZ, since it utilizes the ARMA engine, it has a bunch of nice controls that you can use, because you can do a whole bunch of different funny things, like you can sit down, you can salute, and all these kind of military things. But the best one is the Alt free look. You can hold Alt, and you can free look around while you're still moving in a straight direction. And that is good for looking around for zombies around corners while you're going straight instead of moving your body, and staying out of the way of players without them noticing, unless they see your head turn, because your head does turn. There's also voice communication, which the direct voice communication is almost essential in this kind of a game. You've also got side chat communication, but of course nobody uses that because that talks to everybody. The next one would be, it's got a large realistic open map. Like, this map is 64 square kilometers. WarZ had a really small map. I made it across halfway of the map in like 5 minutes. And it wasn't very big. Like Campo City, it's not even a city. Like, come on. And the next one is, it's got really good graphics. Compared to WarZ, and basically that's in one of the negatives for WarZ, and I'll show that. It's got pretty good graphics on Ultra. It might not be to your style, but it is good graphics. It does have good graphics. It's got multiple maps, actually. DayZ has a nice selection of maps. They're all custom, except Namalsk or Namalesk, or whatever it's called, and Lingor. I think they're 2 supported maps, I'm guessing. And the next one would be, it's got more realistic status effects. Like WarZ has hunger, you can get infected in WarZ, and it's got thirst and your stamina. But DayZ has a temperature with it, along with it, and I guess the times are a little bit better in DayZ, as I've found, for the hunger and thirst. But I do like the temperature added in there. And the blood meter, and just DayZ just has that more. It's just got that better status effect interface for me. You can see that, and you have unlimited sprint. That is a positive, and I know I'll get some people go on to me about that's not a positive. It's not realistic, but it is not realistic. But you gotta remember that you're on a 64 square kilometer map, and you don't want to be dying every 40 seconds from the zombies. The zombies run a lot faster than in WarZ, and so basically, I don't think they're zombies. These ones are infected. I don't like calling them zombies. They're infected. But it is a large map, and if you could not sprint for unlimited times, you'd die almost all the time. It's a no-brainer. Alright, so now on to the negatives. The negatives are, the list for both games is pretty short, but they're big negatives for the games. Some of them are big negatives, actually, but for WarZ, it has terrible blurry graphics. Now, from seeing videos, the graphics didn't look that bad, but as soon as I started playing, you really noticed how bad the graphics were. And the next one is a small map. Now, I heard that the map is supposed to be very large, but I made the entire map in about 5 minutes. It's not big at all. The cities don't even look like cities. They're like hamlets with skyscrapers. Hamlets with skyscrapers. That's what they look like to me. And the animations in WarZ are very stiff. The animations are stiff, but DayZ has its own animation problems, which I'll say about that. And the zombies, they have a terrible AI. I know zombies, would have a terrible AI because they're stupid, but these ones, they kind of walk slowly to you, and I was beating one with a flashlight for about 10 minutes. Nothing was happening. You know, like that would happen. The zombie would have ripped you apart if you tried beating it with a flashlight. And, of course, both games have hackers. Hackers are terrible. Both games are trying to fix hackers. Hackers shouldn't be in anything. There shouldn't be hackers. Hackers should not exist. Well, if there's anything good to be done with hacking, then they should exist, but if it's just all bad stuff, then no. And the negatives of DayZ would be it has a large host of bugs and glitches. Now, if you played DayZ, there's a ton of bugs and glitches, and yes, some of these are very terrible, and some of them are game-breaking, but I still play anyways. Lots of people still play and deal with them. And the one thing that I was talking about in WarZ, about the FPS controls, DayZ is a very clunky one. You don't know if you're actually going to hit the zombie or not, kind of thing, and it's hard to aim. Anybody who's not used to armor just starting in would have a very hard time trying to play DayZ with the FPS controls. And it's got some bad animations, the walking animation, but DayZ is kind of weird. With the armor engine, it's got some really well done animations, and it's got some really terrible animations. So, the walking without any weapons it's pretty bad, and the walking with a rifle is really good. Looks like a military, and I guess there's a balance of that, but I would love for all the animations to be good. And guess what? Arma 3 has all of that stuff. It has a whole bunch of things. It'll be having attachments and everything. So I'm hoping DayZ takes up the Arma 3 engine in the near future with the DayZ standalone. Alright, now onto the notes I have for both games. And the notes aren't very big. I'm just going to say my opinion and all that kind of stuff. But I wanted to also say about WarZ that it doesn't have... Well, okay, I'll just talk about that in my opinion, because that's what category it falls into. Basically, with DayZ, I find it more immersive. It has a more immersive environment than WarZ. When I was playing both games, I felt I was actually in a survival situation with DayZ, but with WarZ, I don't know, maybe it was the graphical environment, I don't know, but I just have a better experience with DayZ. But anyways, they're pretty equal, except for the map size, the character control, and the environment. And of course, the map size goes to DayZ, character control and gear management goes to WarZ, and environment goes to DayZ. But WarZ, I find that doesn't have as many features. And yes, as you found out, I do like DayZ a little bit more, because DayZ has more features as a survival situation. I find it a bigger map, and I can hide myself better, and I find it more immersive. And I'm hoping that this comparison helped more people out there. And I have footage on both sides, and I hope that you will go in and, check the wikis of both games, check other people's videos, not just mine, and figure out which one you want to play. And DayZ standalone is coming out, so you're going to have to buy that again if you haven't bought it already. So if you haven't bought DayZ yet, don't bother buying Arma until DayZ standalone comes out, because there's no point, because it's coming out this month or next month. And with WarZ, you can pay $25 at the lowest, at least. It's the lowest amount you pay to get into WarZ, and you can have fun playing that as well. And so this was Zippo on the comparison of WarZ and DayZ. Hope it helped. And thanks for watching. Subscribe, all that kind of good stuff. And I really want my channel to get high